Welcome back to the Terminal Element. This is a very special day because this system that I installed in my wife's car for off-grid digital communication has now reached an uptime of 365 days. I hope you can see that on the screen there. I really didn't know what I was doing when I set up this system when I first installed it. I left the power cables way too long because I was too scared to cut wire. I didn't take any real special RF mitigation steps, and I wired it straight to the battery, which is totally wrong, but it has been up and running with no shutdowns for an entire year. And that just goes to show you what these little hobbyist devices, these Raspberry Pi computers, are capable of. This device is a Pi 2, and it was sold to me in about 2015 or 2016 by a man named Jeff Haney. His call sign was AF7JX, and he's no longer with us, but he sold it to me for about, I think, $6 or $8 face value of junk silver. And he told me at the time he didn't need that money. He didn't need that silver. It was just because he knew I would take this more seriously if I exchanged value for it. And he was totally right. 100% accurate. We value the things that we exchange value for. And so long after he passed, I continued learning about digital communications. And I was able to figure out how to set this communication system up that benefited my family. And I'm eternally grateful for Jeff's tutelage. I hope he's looking down from heaven and he's proud of what I've been able to accomplish here. Now, this system is not particularly happy with being up for a year. I can type in DMESG into the terminal window, D message. It shows us the error log. And you can see there's some bright red wording down here. And I'm not exactly sure what all that means, but I know I can scroll up and I can see that there are some undervoltage warnings that occurred at some point. And I don't know exactly why. I thought I did everything right with the wiring of the power system here. You can see undervoltage detected at certain points here. It seems to have survived it just fine though. Now I can also type in HTOP into the terminal. Let's go ahead and do that now. And that shows us a little bit about how the processor is doing, as well as the swap files. So HTOP, and I'll hit enter. And right here you can see the swap memory is at 87 megabytes out of a possible 100. I've tried to learn a bit about this, and I can't really find out too much. I know it's not good for the swap file memory to be completely maxed out. If you know more about it, please send me in the right direction so I can learn more, but it's still working. I can't complain too hard. We can also check in on the health of the processor. Now, right here, we have cores numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We can see this is a quad-core processor. And over here on the load average, it's at 2.22. Let's see if it's still there when I flip it around, 2.21. All right, so we know that half of the cores are maxed out, or 50% of this processor's capability is maxed out. Linux can go over 100%, but it's best to keep that as low as possible. Here we have like half of the processor being used. It's still working just fine. Now, we got to a year. I'd love to go another year, but I think it's due for some upgrades. I'd like to replace this with a Pi 4 because I'd like to install some mapping systems, some GPS capabilities, and maybe even JS8 call. And we're not going to be able to do that all with the Pi 2. It's just too slow. But I'm really super excited to see this Pi 2 win an entire year. Jeff, thank you so much. And let's make it another year with the Pi 4. Join me in the next episode of the Terminal Element when we'll continue our Pi build and we'll add some further capabilities to our system.